companies, and it is the liability of the company to be transparent with their expenses or with their income. So they
Okay.
have, yeah.
Again, a sophistication or a detail, but the basic point remains that to protect the interest of shareholders, that they are protecting
In a way.
shareholders' interest. If they are retail investors like you and me, or let's say some HNIs like Ambani's, or let's say different other corporates, bottom line is to protect the interest of shareholders. What else?
Right.
You, I forgot your name, sorry. Just Niranjana, right?
Niranjana.
So,
Yeah,
Yes,
Niranjana, go ahead.
actually,
Yeah.
even I had the tax obligations point.
Okay, so tax authorities just don't bother. They have their own stuff. आप दिखाओ या ना दिखाओ टैक्स तो वो निकाल लेंगे. Don't bother. Okay, fine. We'll move to the next person. Vidushi, go ahead.
Sir, I'm not sure, but I think credit rating agencies also use the annual reports to assign ratings to the companies based on their debt and other financial.
Okay. So are you saying, Vidushi, are you saying that it is, so law has understood that credit rating is very important, so they have created a law that companies need to give this information so that credit rating agencies could do their job. Is that what you're saying?
I think that was not the main purpose, sir. I think the main purpose should be the shareholders.
So
And the
usage
general
can be
public.
plenty. I'm not talking questioning the usage. For example, let's say today I may simply want to, I'm not able to sleep properly, and I want to use it as a what you can say, bedtime story. So I start reading financial reports, and it feels felt so boring that I slept off. So usage, you can imagine your own. But what I'm talking about is other way around. That what was law thinking the moment they mandated Tata Motors to give this information. Yeah. Okay. Next point. Go ahead, Surendra. Go ahead.
by having all these statutes, sir, the law actually having an objective to improve the corporate governance in the organizations.
Yeah.
And
And why is that needed?
promoting transparency.
And why is that needed?
The organizations are not having any stat. Yes, sir. We witnessed some organizations are committing like corporate governance issues, like they are misusing the funds of shareholders. So if the organizations are keep on informing all the stakeholders about what are the activities are being taken and where the funds are utilized, these are reduced to a larger extent.
Okay. So sophisticated answer to protect the rights of the or interest of shareholder interest. Okay. What else?
So
Bharat, go ahead.
So the law
Yeah.
is
Yeah, Bharat, go ahead.
Yeah, my point is same as Surendra, sir. Funds
Okay.
allocation.
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay. Great. Manu, go ahead.
Keep a record of who has approved these financial statements, who's the auditor and who's the CFO. So they keep like a legal record of this.
Okay, legal record. Okay, legal record. Okay, and then important companies. Okay. Any new point, Jitendra? Go ahead.
So if the template is uniform, it will help to compare different.
Okay, comparisons. But how does law bother? Let's say today I want to open my Kirana store and you decide to open your Kirana store. Will law make a new statute that both of you prepare a statement and compare yourself?
Not exactly, but like because you are
Why
insuring.
being so unfair to Tata Motors? Is that is the question I'm asking? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
say something.
It's a public money in the Tata Motors that they are using, and the Kirana shop mainly is a proprietor money. So obviously there is a concern of stakeholders' money for the case of Tata Motors, not for the Kirana shop.
Proprietors. Okay. Here I think I need to do some explanation here. That the words which Divya is mentioning is proprietors' money versus public money. Whose money is used to run Tata Motors? Whose money is used?
Both.
Anyone?
Both the
both
public and
It's not both. Anybody who has, okay, that's what I want you to understand. Okay, let me give you a difference. A difference between two business entities called company versus a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship. The difference between a company and a sole proprietorship is what is driving this confusion and this question. In case of a company, there is no such thing as called proprietor. You can have a promoter, but you cannot have a proprietor. All the shareholders are proprietors. All the shareholders are owners. For example, let's talk about a company called Reliance. Who owns Reliance?
Mukesh Ambani.
Mukesh Ambani owns.
Shareholders.
Mukesh Ambani doesn't own Reliance.
Shareholders.
Actually, all the shareholders of Reliance own Reliance. Maybe Mukesh Ambani holds a bigger chunk among them. That's what. So let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say Reliance has 5 million shares. Okay. And tomorrow I decide to buy 2 shares of Reliance. So in this percentage, I have become owner of Reliance. That's what shareholding means. Now, it doesn't mean to say that tomorrow I will enter Reliance office and say that everybody just start dancing to my tunes. That's not gonna happen. But in this proportion, whatever happens to Reliance, means that if Reliance makes a profit, I become a party to that profit in this percent. If Reliance suffers a loss, I suffer a loss in this ratio once again. That is what it means to buy a share. So you need to understand that there is no such thing as proprietors versus shareholders in case of a company. All the shareholders are owners. Only problem is here shareholders are different and management is different, or management may be different. For example, let's say I bought 2 shares of Reliance. I have become the owner of Reliance in this percentage, but I cannot dictate that do this, open this plant, to close this plant. I want Jio platforms to be free for the lifetime for the entire country. It's not going to happen, right? Then what does it mean? How are my rights protected? I am giving my money, but I have no say. I have some say via my polling and votings. That is another thing, but that are limited. So what the legal authorities have done is that they have made it mandatory for the management who we have hired. Who are we here? We are shareholders here. Yeah, go ahead, Richard.
Sir, I wanted to say that this report also exists to protect the interests of employees, in the sense that if a company does not publish its annual report.
Let us discuss the difference between sole proprietorship and company first, because the class was some people in the classroom were confused at that level. So when there is a distinction between management and shareholder, that these parties are different and these parties are different, how is there a reconciliation? कि पैसे किसी और के लग रहे हैं, decision कोई और ले रहा है. That reconciliation can only be done when you make the people who are making the decision answerable to parties whose money is involved. That is why the legal authorities have made this statutory, that companies don't have an option but to file a report. And because these are public companies, these reports are publicly filed, means publicly available. Anybody, you and I, if we want, we can simply Google, go to their website and download this information. We don't need to buy it or take permission from anybody or anything. Okay. So 2 tasks here. This, in somewhat sense, I have already told you that what is the difference between a company and sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship where one person is the owner and the same person is management. For example, let's say I decide to open my Kirana store, and let's say Praveen decides to open his Kirana store, and we have not registered it as a company. Then we are the owners and we will decide that where to open the store, when to run it. If tomorrow I don't feel like, I can keep it shut. Let's say I want to give everything for free, whatever. It's my shop, I can decide what needs to be done. But the same is not true in case of a company. If I buy 100 shares or 1000 shares of Reliance, tomorrow I cannot start dictating, close this plant, take this product, open a branch here or whatever. So in that situation, I need to be protected. So how does that protection happens? So they will keep on taking decision on my behalf and they will keep informing me. Who are they here? The management. And how are they appointed? They are periodically appointed by people like us. So everybody who owns the shares, they will vote that I like this guy, you be the CEO. Of course, the person who has majority of voting wins. Okay. So that is the distinction which makes it mandatory for the companies to give the information and makes it mandatory for public companies to give the information publicly. Okay, so let me quickly go to the hands that are raised. If any new point they want to ask. Yeah, Jitendra, go ahead.
No, sir, I'm done.
Okay, Anaga, go ahead.
No, sir. I was also saying that the annual reports also serve to sort of curb fraud, maybe, because if people feel that there's nobody to ask or see,
Okay.
encourage.
On top of that, these things are additional benefits. For example, if the companies are important companies, you get the information. This is additional benefit, but this is not the primary reason why the law was made. Similarly, all these people who are saying that fraud may happen and things like that, or maybe credit rating agencies, these are additional usages. But the primary reason was to protect these guys. Okay, because they had no means of getting protected. Yeah, Niranjana, go ahead. You want to ask something?
No, sir, I just wanted to say that, yeah, again boils down to shareholders. So if there are statements which will give faith to the shareholders about the functioning, that will in turn help the stock exchanges also function.
Yeah. So usages, we are not even bothered. Now, once the information are publicly available, anybody and everybody can use them. Okay, that is fair enough. Yeah, George, go ahead.
Sir, I was about to say that in case in some tender bidding processes, there might be a qualification criteria. So this might be useful at that time. But
yeah, but as you can see my previous arguments, that is not the reason why law was made. So it is like now we know that chicken and egg story, that whether chicken came first or egg came first. Now you can go into circle, that is another thing. Okay, that after the things is already out there, you can use chicken here and egg there. Yeah, Shovik, go ahead.
Sir, I don't know, it's in the context of this thing. I mean, I want to say that this shared, the company bids the share for not for the 100% stake, right? There's a certain 30% or 25% of the stake they launch for the IPO purpose and all.
Okay.
So, if I purchase a 2 rupees share,
yeah,
so, I am a stakeholder for the only for the 25% of the stake, or for the 100%.
For the 100%. For the 100%. Okay. So basically, the question Shovik is asking is Shovik, right? Where is that?
Yes, Shovik.
Yeah. So the question he is asking is something that is called a free float. You can, once again, this is not something that needs to be discussed in this class, but this is such a common knowledge that everybody should know the meaning of this term. That in case of companies' shares getting listed on an exchange, what is the meaning of the term free float? Just go ahead and find it out. Okay, I'll tell you in very brief here. So if you are not convinced, I will not explain it here. That you can do it later on. You can find it on your own. Let's say Reliance has 5 million shares, of which, let's say, Ambani's hold 3 million and 2 million is out available on stock exchanges. Now, if I buy, let's say, 2 shares, so his question is, have I become an owner in the ratio of 2 by 5 million or 2 by 2 million? So the answer to this question is, you have become owner of the company in this ratio. How much promoter hold is immaterial here. You will simply see that how much you own divided by how much is the total out there. In this ratio, you have become. Can you all see my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I cannot see my
Yes, sir.
Okay, I can see it now. Fine. So that's what I'm talking about. And in this situation, this 2 by 5 million is called free float. Okay, so if you understood it, it's good. If you did not, then just go ahead later on, find it out, that what does the word free float mean. Now, that is all about the word statutory report. That means law is not making it optional, they are making it obligatory or mandatory for the entities like Tata Motors to necessarily file it. Okay, and primary reason being that shareholders do not have any ways of protecting their own rights, but end of the day it's their money that is at stake. Okay, now I'll draw your attention to the next term. This is even strange. Stand alone. What is this, fellow? Anyone? What does that mean, stand alone?
Sir, it does not require reference to any other part of the report, sir.
Okay. Does it not mean ekla chalo re? Stand alone? No?
Yes, sir.
It means, okay, yeah, Shaurya, go ahead. What do you say?
Sir, I think the subsidiaries, the performance of the subsidiaries is not included in this. For example, Tata Motors owns Jaguar Land Rover, so that will be different.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Anybody else? Any other opinion? Okay, so Shaurya is exactly right. Here, by standalone, it has something to do with subsidiaries. Yeah, Vaishak, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that it is independent from the parent company Tata.
Okay. So one is saying that it doesn't include subsidiary, and one is saying that it doesn't include parent. Okay, now what is this business of parent and subsidiary? If you already know the terminology is good. If not, then pay attention. So let's take an example. At least name wise, you guys would have heard it. Have you heard of Tata Sons? Have you heard of Tata Motors?
Yes,
Tata
sir.
Motors.
Yes.
Have you heard
Yes,
of Jaguar Land Rover? Now let me try to
Yes,
create a structure here. That let us say Tata Motors has acquired controlling stake in Jaguar Land Rover. Now what is the meaning of controlling stake? Let's say, just for argument's sake, so basically I want to say that what qualifies to be a subsidiary. To become a subsidiary, you need to have controlling stake in a company. Okay. Now there are other requirements, other legal requirements also, which can qualify an entity to become your subsidiary. But just for simplicity's sake, I will just give you one of the most frequently found incidents, wherein if you hold more than 50% stake, more than 50 means 50 plus, then you are called a parent, and the company whose 50% plus stake you own is called your subsidiary. For this, in this example, let us say Tata Motor as a company holds more than 50% shares of Jaguar Land Rover. Let us assume, just for argument's sake, let us assume that Jaguar Land Rover has 5,000 shares. You guys, everybody understands shares, right? I think that part is okay. Okay. So let's say Jaguar Land Rover has 5,000 shares, and if Tata Motor holds anything more than 2,500, let's say 2,560, then Tata Motors is said to be parent company of Jaguar Land Rover, and Jaguar Land Rover is called subsidiary of Tata Motors. Okay. Now it may so happen that parent company is in turn subsidiary of some other company. For example, let's say Tata Motor itself is owned by another firm called Tata Sons. Okay. So when we are talking about stand alone here, what we are talking about is this. Let's say you are management of Tata Motors. Okay. Now somebody comes and asks you that, look, we have this statutory requirement and you need to create something that is called annual report. What is the content of annual report? A lot of blah, blah, blah. And apart from that blah, blah, you need to give financial information. Now the question you will ask is that financial information, should I give for my own business only, or should I include my subsidiary as well? Let me tell you the argument behind this. You know what is the business of Jaguar Land Rover? High-end cars.
High-end cars.
High-end cars. What is the business of Tata Motors?
Affordable cars.
Right. And other motor vehicles. Mainly commercial motor vehicles. So let's call it commercial motor vehicles. Now, let's say somebody is asking Tata Motors that how did your or bad did you do in the last year? So what should they respond? Should they respond only about this, or should they add both of these up? That is the question. It so turns out that both of these information might be needed by different parties. Somebody might want to look at this, somebody might want to look at this plus this, somebody might want to look at only this. Okay, so in that situation, the information is given at different levels of details. So for example, when Tata Motors is giving information only about their own operations, that information is called standalone. So here this standalone means only of their own operations. No parent, no subsidiary. Okay. Now let me bring an example. Let us say Tata Motors made a profit of 5 crore rupees and Jaguar Land Rover made a profit of, let's say, negative 2 crore rupees. That is a loss of 2 crore rupees. Now what they could do is that they could tell that our standalone profit was 5 crore rupees, and if I consolidate the information of my subsidiary also, then net as Tata Motors we made 3 crore rupees. That we plus our subsidiaries. So another task for you, that when you download the annual report of Tata Motors, simply Google simply find the word consolidated. What you will find is similar looking statements but with different numbers. These numbers will be slightly different. But what does that represent? That represents the numbers of Tata Motors as well as add to them the numbers of all its subsidiaries. That's what that number denotes. Now, who would need what number? You can straight away guess. For example, who would want to look at the consolidated number? Any users who would be more interested in consolidated than standalone? Any example? What sort of parties?
Investors
and
Investors.
retail shareholders.
Investors or retail shareholders. Yeah, exactly right. What are they buying? When they are buying one share of Tata Motors, in effect, they are also buying some portion of Jaguar Land Rover. So if the parent is making money but the subsidiary is losing it, at the end of the day, this is what they are getting. So they would be interested in consolidated. Who would be interested in only standalone? Maybe management, maybe their
promoters.
Maybe Maruti will be looking at standalone. Maruti doesn't care whether Jaguar Land Rover or not. Maybe Ashoka Leyland or whatever, right? So different parties will have different interests. Some parties would want to look at both. Some parties would want to look at only one. Okay. So because of that, the rules and regulations state that if you have subsidiaries, that situation, your obligation becomes even more. You need to give information not only on standalone basis, that is only about your own business. You need to replicate the information and give it at a level of consolidation where you plus all your babies, where babies are these subsidiaries. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Ronika, go ahead, question.
So I was just saying that like stakeholders like employees, senior management and suppliers would look at standalone financial statements.
Yeah, exactly right, correct. Yeah. Ishan, go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Adding to that, I think standalone. I hope the research analysis, analysts preparing a report specifically on cars in the affordable segment or cars in this particular segment, they might be interested in standalone rather than consolidated.
Yeah. So a few more jargons thrown out here. It's once again more of a common knowledge or GK part. That's why I would mention it here. That go ahead and find out who are these analysts that Ishan is mentioning. Ishan, right? Ishan was mentioning.
Yes, sir.
Analysts. Go and find out. These are those people who track a few companies and they make a prediction. that whether this company needs to be bought or sold or what. Okay, so it's good exercise to just go ahead and look at them, that what are they talking about, who are these people. So what he is mentioning is that they would want to look at standalone to make a forecast. Actually true as well as false, they would want to look at standalone as well as consolidated. For the simple reason that when they want to make a forecast, they would want to forecast about the standalone as well as subsidiary. So they would look at both the aggregates. So these are one of the stakeholders who would want to know both of the information. Okay. Any questions up here?
Is there any reason why Jaguar Land Rover or some provision through which Jaguar Land Rover will show financial statements of Tata Motors in their financial
No, not needed. No, not needed. So parents, you don't show any information. The expectation is that when parent company prepares their statement, they will include your information. For example, even let's say Tata Sons, Tata Motors, Jaguar Land Rover. Let's say that is one branch. Let's say Tata Sons also owns Tata Steel, which in turn owns, let's say, Tata Consumer Products, and let's say also owns TCS. Then all these guys who do not have any subsidiary, they will only create one version of statements that is about themselves. When Tata Motor prepares their statement, they will prepare one version for themselves and one for this summation. Similarly, when Tata Steel prepares one version for themselves and one version for this summation. But if suppose Tata Sons was also a company, then they would prepare a statement for this entire group. Means one for themselves and one for entire group. Yeah. So you don't give information for your parent. Parent give information about themselves in their own statement. So no need for subsidiary to give information about parents. Okay. Yeah. Any more questions? You can move ahead. Okay. Now let me bring your attention to the most interesting part that I want you to draw your attention. That is, who are these fellows? What are they doing here? You see at the bottom of the statement. Let me show you in one frame here what am I talking about. So this is one page, and at the bottom of the page there are different names. So what are these names doing here? Any idea?
So they represent the management.
Okay. Then
so they are the
responsible
for shareholders.
So they are
Sorry?
responsible for the.
They are responsible. Okay. What else?
For the.
Okay, they are responsible for the numbers. Okay, what else? Any other opinion?
The promoters, sir.
They are promoters. Okay, so their name is because these guys are the important people, or they are like equivalent of your committee members. So you would be receiving committee emails now, right? Have you started receiving committee emails from your seniors? So at the end and in signature there will be different names given, right? So is that what is happening here? That these are like lead actors to our movie called Statement of Financial Statement of whatever. Okay.
So they were the decision makers, and this is the result. So
okay, so they were the decision makers, and this is the result. Once again, a different word for these are the main actors who have played it in the movie. Okay, yes, Snigdha, go ahead.
Sir, they are. I am guessing that they are like the board of governors or board of directors who like analyze the economic and financial conditions of an organization.
Economic and financial conditions of who?
Of the organization, like how the
organization. Okay. It may be correct, but that's not the reason why their names are appearing here. So all those people who are saying that these are the important people, or are the people who are what you can say are the decision makers because of whom these numbers are appearing. That may be true, but that is not the reason why their names are appearing here. Yeah,
so they are answerable to the shareholders.
Yeah, they are answerable to shareholders. Basically, they are they are called signatories to the statement. That means they are putting their name saying that we take responsibility about this statement. So let me imagine a very strange situation. that suppose you are a fantastic student at IIM Lucknow, you are an expert in marketing, you did all of your marketing stuff good, you joined a job as management trainee, you did a fantastic job. Only thing is that management also recognized it and they promoted you. Then you became junior manager, then you became senior manager, then you became junior director, or you became board of directors. Now only problem is that somebody will come with a statement that, sir, madam, please sign this. You will say, what is that? They will say financial statement. You understand what am I trying to bring here? That on that day, if you don't understand what the statement is all about, you will be putting your signature blindly, right? It's as bad as putting your thumb impression without understanding a thing. Now, what might be the fallout of that? Let me give you some fallout, some possible fallouts. Have you guys been tracking Satyam case? Have you heard of Satyam case? What happened in case of Satyam? Yes, no, too young for that. Okay, if you are too young for that, have you heard of what happened in case of, let's say, Malia or ILFS? Or even this one is very new, Amrapali, just 1 or 2 years back, Amrapali.
Yes, sir.
Amrapali Group, anybody? Can you tell us what happened with Amrapali Group? I think we'll have to put some GK section into that exam now. Amrapali Group, very famous case. Nobody has heard of it. Strange. कुछ लोग तो होते ही हैं class में. Yeah, go ahead, Shobhit.
It's a real estate company.
Real estate firm. Okay. What about it? Okay. MS Dhoni's name also came to it, but he got free from it. But something else happened. It was big in news.
They didn't have the.
They didn't have somebody's name. What? Okay, all random people. Okay, then Anaga, go ahead.
It was said that the money that they collected for buying the buildings, they diverted it and used it for something else.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That was the allegation, that they were the real estate firm. They took money from people to build real estate, and instead of building it, they used it for their own purpose. Now, what happened after that? That is what I want to draw your attention. Okay, you can just go ahead and Google later on Amrapali's case and the judgments. You will find that personal properties of directors were attached. Now, do you need to understand the meaning of this statement, that personal properties of directors were attached? Means unka personal, their personal vehicle, their personal flat or whatever would be sold off, to make sure that those properties get completed and they are handed over to people. Now, what is happening there? Yeah.
So, but isn't this a limited life? Wasn't that a limited liability?
That's exactly my point. That next assignment, Rishabh has given an assignment to you. Next assignment is that earlier I told you that find the difference between a public company and a private company, right? So the name given was private limited and simply limited. Now the point he is mentioning here is that go ahead and find out what is the meaning of the word limited. What is limited all about? You will see that this limited refers to something that is called limited liability. This little bit of exercise will broaden your horizon or understanding of how things are happening, what you can get away with and what you cannot get away with. Okay, in this respect also there is one more thing, one more term that I want you to go and inquire. Go and find out in the same context what is something called corporate weal. Okay, these things will just open up the debate. This will not give you enough answers. So when we join back tomorrow, if you still have questions, shoot it out. But first do a little bit of homework. Highly likely you will have more questions than solutions, but at least you will know that what your questions are, which is what Rishabh is mentioning right now. If I explain it right away, you will not be able to appreciate what am I talking about and how is it related to the point we are discussing here. The point we are discussing here is that if you are a signatory, in a way you are taking responsibility for things to be correct here. And at the end of the day, if something goes wrong here, you cannot give this excuse that main to marketing ka banda hu, main to HR ki bandi hu, or whatever. That will not be held as a sufficient excuse that how you could not detect a fraud. Personal property जाएगी, आप भी जेल में जा सकते हो, right?
Sir, but this will be only in case of fraud, right?
This
if fraud
will
is
be
true.
in case of fraud. Yes, yes. If you keep signing it without understanding and all the people around you are like saints, then you are lucky. That's all. Highly likely they will keep some known people or some specific kind of people in board of directors, so that they would want them to close eyes once some fraud or some wrong actions are happening, activities are happening. Okay, so in your best interest, you better pay attention to what I'm going to say. Otherwise, this is what you're looking for. Go and simply Google what happened to Amrapali directors or top management in Amrapali. So I don't think that court would have said that you are a marketing guy, go happily live ever after. They would say, even if you are a marketing guy, you got promoted to the post of a director. The moment you get promoted to a post of director, you are saying that I will take care of protect the interest of shareholders on their behalf. That's what in effect you are saying. Now, if you were incapable, why did you take the position? You should have refused it. So that is the crucial information that is given by this signatories. And it's not that I'm making it up. A lot of people are losing their properties. Some people are also going into jail. For example, in case of Satyam, a lot of people went into jail, right? So here it also doesn't mean to say that the moment something goes wrong, immediately you will put into jail. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm mentioning here is that if you give this excuse that I don't understand statements, that is not going to work. If suppose, let's say, let's take example of Satyam. Let's say this is from Satyam, this is Ramalingam Raju. And let's say this is you, another director. Now, what I'm talking about here is that Raju, by being involved in the management, maybe they can fabricate a deception so careful or so meticulously created fraud that even after careful examination, you could not detect it. That is all right. Okay, so it doesn't mean that if anything wrong goes, then immediately you will put behind bars. It means that only if you were responsible for something, if you didn't do it properly, then you will be put to task. Inappropriate response, of course. Court will see, of course, all these stuff also. But this point, what I'm trying to emphasize here is that this point will not hold. Ki main to marketing ka banda hu aur main to operations ki bandi hu or whatever. That is what you need to understand. That a little bit of accounting is expected from every management. The moment you become signatory to a statement, at least this much understanding is expected that you are an expert of the business and you know a little bit of formal level of accounting. That is, if a statement, somebody is mentioning something and as an asset, you think that something is fishy out there, it's your responsibility to ask a question. If you don't understand, if you don't have a clue what an asset is or what a liability are, what the liabilities are, then you are asking for trouble is what I'm trying to point here. Yeah, questions? All good? All scared people out there? Good, mission accomplished. Unless you get scared, you won't pay attention. Yeah, Bharti, go ahead.
Correct, Bharat. Okay.
I'm so sorry, Bharat, go ahead.
So if there is a fraud, sir, the main aim of auditing agencies is to find out that, I believe. So here in this case, Deloitte is the one who was audited.
So you just move the discussion automatically to the next point, which I was about to mention. Who are these guys? So I'll take your question, Bharat. But first of all, let me take the attention of rest of the class to these guys. So I'll zoom out for a bit so you see where I'm pointing out. So this bottom left, there are two more parties mentioned here. One is Deloitte, and then below that BP Shroff. What are these names doing there? So Bharat's question has something to do with that. But before that, I want to know your opinion. What are these guys? Who are these guys? Any idea?
Sir, external auditor.
External auditor. Okay. Not just auditor, external auditor. Yeah, Manu, go ahead.
Yes, sir. The external auditor and the partner who was responsible for that audit.
Okay. Yeah, Renuka, Sumit, go ahead.
Sir, they are independent, and it is their responsibility to make, because they're not part of the company, they can be independent and make sure all the numbers are right.
Okay, yeah. Renuka, go ahead. Or Ronika, sorry.
So exactly, I was saying that they, since they're external, they will present a fair view of the company.
Okay, okay. So when you are looking about other details, also look at these details, that among directors, there can be something that is called independent directors. So go ahead and find out that independent directors, that who are called independent directors. And now we are moving to auditors. So here people are not only mentioning the word auditor. I think auditor everybody would know, right? Anyone who doesn't know auditor, just let me know.
I'm not sure what an auditor does.
Okay, so an auditor is a qualified chartered accountant who is specifically appointed to verify the statement. It's like, let's say this is Tata Motors, let's say this is management of Tata Motors, this is the firm, and this guy is auditor. So what they will do is they will prepare the statement, they will bring it to the auditors. An auditor's job is to certify that whatever is written in this statement is correct and fair to the best of my knowledge. So these guys are not some random people, these are experts. In most countries, these experts will have to have a degree equivalent of chartered accountancy. Okay. Some other countries may have different name, but of course, you should be ready to take that much. What we are mentioning here is that there can be two sort of auditors. Now, information overflow a little bit, I know, but it's very important that you get these many jargons straight. So auditor is somebody who verifies. Now this verification can happen at two stages. What we are talking about here is external auditor. So if there is an external auditor, there must be one internal auditor. Now who are these internal auditors? Go find it out on your own. Simple Google should be sufficient. So basically here the thing is that there is this party called Deloitte Haskins and LLP. They are specifically appointed for the purpose that once the statements are prepared, as an expert, give us your commentary. That what do you think? So this is an additional layer of protection for all the shareholders. Okay. So these guys, okay, they are also appointed to in this also the answer to your question, Bharat, it's coming in this explanation, that these guys are also appointed to make sure that shareholders' interests are protected, but the expectation cannot be of an expert level from them. They are expected to be expert only of business, but accounting just on overall understanding. For example, some intricate rules is being played up with, that is not expected out of them. But auditors, they are a different story altogether. So if you go ahead and find out more about the Satyam case, go ahead and find out what happened to their auditors. It's very interesting exercise to do. So there was a time, there is still a time, it's still continuing, that we started with Big Four. You guys have heard of the word Big Four? Itna to follow kar rahe ho na? Then suddenly we were reduced to Big Three, and then we are in a danger of reducing ourselves to Big Two or so. What is happening? All these big whatever are indulged in some carelessness or some fraud. I don't know the intention, whether the wrongdoings were intentional or unintentional. That is the distinction. But they are being barred. For example, PwC was barred for a few years. Right? So we are looking at some strict penalties, and the actual auditors who were involved, they are given even harsher punishments. So you should be able to see that this is an additional layer of protection available to shareholders, wherein we are hiring some experts to give their expert opinion that tell us whether the statements are true and fair to the best of your professional understanding or not. So one layer of protection is that these directors, within that independent directors, the involved management is already there, but independent directors are also there. And on top of that, you also have a protection from external auditors. So a lot of parties to make sure that the statement that is finally being put is true and fair. So you should see that all those unscrupulous people are out there. Yeah, IL&FS is a very good case. Deloitte is in docs for that. So all these cases, if you follow, it will raise plenty of questions. And these questions are very important to understand the business scenario, because that is where you are about to enter. So when I was telling that, okay, it is mandatory for Tata Motors to give information. If you were thinking, okay, only mandatory, right? Let me give some random writing and give them a statement. Let me use the Excel formula of generate random numbers and fill it. No, that's not going to cut it. Why? Because these guys will check it. These guys will check it. Then these guys will check it. Somewhere it's bound to be caught. If nobody catches it and then there is a probe, then these guys will go to jail. These guys will go to jail. The person who has prepared the fraudulent statement anyway will go to jail. Right? So that is what we are talking about here, is that from motivation perspective, you need to understand that the moment you are signatory to a statement, somehow you are vouching for it. The moment you are vouching for it, you better understand what is in it. Okay, any questions so far? All good? Voice response, guys. Sleeping now?
So like when you were talking
Yes,
about
sir.
Big Four, you were talking about Big Four in accounting or Big Four in tech?
Okay, that depends upon. Okay, I'm a accounting person. What do you think I would be talking about? Big Four auditing houses was I was talking about. Okay. Now I see that the class time is over. Have you guys decided on CR yet?
Sir, we have
So-
our process initiated.
Okay, that
For
doesn't
CR.
make, the simple answer was no. Okay, fine.
No.
Okay, so okay, so sometimes what happens is, it happened with the other section. So because I remember it just now, so I tell it to you also. It so happens that thoda main bhavnaon mein beh jata hu and the class time exceeds a little bit. The moment you find that it is exceeding, for the time being you don't have a CR, anybody can just remind me. Doesn't mean to say that I will stop then and there, but I will start looking at the time at that point onwards. Okay, yeah, Bharat, go ahead. Question.
Yes, sir. Sir, is there an example where auditors have managed to escape the punishment, stating some reasons that they weren't able to find out?
Escape punishment.
Yes.
Plenty of. You means most of the time they escape. The only problem is that that situation, it will not become a highlight or a headline. Right? So you need to look at some newspaper that does not sell well. So there maybe they will be reporting it properly. Okay. But yeah, many of the times these guys, because their names are important, they hire all these hi-fi lawyers. And as with any other crime, a lot of times they may get away with it. Yeah. Okay. So
Sir, one
yeah.
more question.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So how will the external audit companies audit, sir? As in, will the company share the entire data related?
Yes,
Or
they will have to. Yes, they will have to give all the details. So there is a painful process of looking at every voucher and every supporting document. That you claim that you have a land, give me the title deed. You claim that you have spent this much, show me the voucher. So it's a painful process. Because of that, a lot of internship or articleship of a lot of chartered accountants is happening. It's all like bonded labor thing out there, but I'll not get into that too much here. What I want to draw your attention next is, I will just open it today and I will take it up tomorrow. Don't worry. I know that the time is over. You see that just below the word balance sheet, there is a word mentioned here as at 31st March 2016. The line says as at 31st March. However, if you go to the similar place in the next page, here the wordings are slightly different. Here this one says for the year ended. So tomorrow this is what we will discuss. But a small homework I want you to do is just go ahead and find out. There are two words. One is called a stock
and flow,
and one is called a flow concept. Go ahead and find out what is the distinction between the two. Okay, this is the homework for you, and that's
Sure.
about it for today. Yeah. Any questions? Anything?